Hey everyone, Honest Stewie here. Hope everyone's doing okay. And I figured I'm going to do some reviews on some movies that I've seen recently. But these are ones that I wouldn't do a full video review of because either they're quite old movies or they're just ones that I wouldn't talk like quite a lot about. Ones I just want to spout off. And the ones that I think are really good, like Heart Eyes and Night Bitch, and there's a few others I've got on my channel, I'll do a full review of. But this is going to be like sort of like a list of what I've watched lately, and I will do little reviews on them as I go along. So I'll start off with one movie. Oh, by the way, quick disclaimer: some are good, some are bad. So that's pretty much what I want to do because it seems pretty good. I've seen a few YouTubers do it, and I thought, you know what, I've watched a lot of movies lately. And to do all them in reviews, it would take forever. So I thought, just do a little like list. I don't know what's going on with my voice, by the way. So I'll start straight away. If I can pronounce this one correctly, it will be very good. So there's one called synchronic, I think it's called. It stars Anthony Mackie in, and it's got the guy out of 50 Shades of Grey in it as well. And it's pretty much about some the paramedics, not cops. I think they said cops then. Paramedics, like investigating ODs. There's some people like overdosing on this new drug. But what this new drug is doing is they're taking it and it's taking them into a completely different like world. Like it's going back in time. That's it. It's going back in time, so it's time traveling. So what they're doing is they take like a drug, and it takes them back in time. So one goes back in time. This is the beginning. It's not a spoiler. One goes back in time, gets bit by a snake, but because that snake isn't in that area no more, they don't have any anti-venom for it. So she's kind of screwed. And then there's one that goes back in time where he'll appear in the sky and just fall. And it's quite good. It's a good movie. And to be honest with you, it's a slow burn and it's different to what I'd watch normally. This is another reason why I want to do a list like this, because it's not something I would watch and review usually. But to be honest with you, I like Anthony Mackie. I think he's awesome. That is definitely one that's worth checking out. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's I think it was like 2019 or 18. I'm not sure when it came out, but it's quite an old movie. But it's really good. I would check it out because yeah, especially with the ending. Oh, I don't know, like I like it, but it doesn't really. It's a movie that you can interpret it for what it is, but it explains stuff a bit more. But it's one of them movies where you're like, ooh, yeah, that's happening now. It's one of them type of things, and yeah. So I'm gonna go into my next movie. So the next one I watched recently was one called Plus One, and that's like a rom-com drama. This stars Huey out of the boys, and it's got I forgot who she is, but she's in something called PG-15. She's like the lady who isn't very bright, and it pretty much them two are in it. They're best friends. They're very close, and they pretty much go to weddings, and it's like sort of kind of like a montage thing where it shows them going to each wedding, and they play like it's a plus one. In other words, sometimes they'll act like a couple, sometimes they won't. So people are like, "Oh, you two would be a cute couple," but they're like, "No, we're not together," and they'll help each other at the wedding pole. Like there's one at the beginning where she'll spill a drink on someone and he'll go over and clean the drink off him. But actually does this movie? I said to the missus, I watched it with the missus. It's very nice, very cute, very nice movie. It's very much justice for Huey out of the boys because it shows him in a cool character for once. He's not this sort of dorky sort of, not that there's anything wrong with that, but like nerdy sort of stumbling his words around women. He's quite normal, and that's the thing I'm going to say about this movie. It's the two people, the reason it works and the reason this is like quite because I'm not really a rom-com person, surprisingly, even though the last review I did was a rom-com, technically, slasher. But with this movie, you believe it because they feel like real people. They feel like actual real people that you can relate to. They both got the demons, they're both going through stuff, and obviously we know how the movies go along. But I would definitely check it out. It's on Amazon Prime, and check it out because it's really good. Like I said, the performances are really great, and yeah, so that is my, I'm going to say, number 2 movie that I've seen so far. So I'll jump into another one. I'll do another rom-com that wasn't very good. It's had good reviews, but wasn't very good. So I'll start by saying it's called another wedding one, Destination Wedding, and it was really disappointing. And this stars Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder, and it's pretty much about two people that like opposites attract scenario, but they're really not. They don't get along at all by the looks of it, and it's just witty banter. And I clicked on it thinking, oh, this is good. You know, Keanu Reeves. Anything Keanu Reeves, I'll watch, and anything with Winona Ryder, I'll watch. So me and the missus thought, well, we enjoyed Plus One. We'll watch this one. So we watched it. We put it on last night, and we turned it off about an hour in. It was boring. I hate to say it, but maybe it was just our preference. None of it landed. And you know, sometimes just because the actors are good and you like them two together, like, it didn't really work. I wasn't buying it. It wasn't that I don't like them two actors, and it wasn't that you know, like I say, Winona Ryder's, you know, she's awesome, and Keanu Reeves is very good, and I'm not buying them two together as a couple. It needed to sort of convince me that they were a couple. If that makes sense. It didn't do any convincing. It definitely didn't do any convincing. The banter was very, like, it wasn't good. There was just stuff where he was like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. It was very, like, I said to Shelley, it could have been interpreted, because I was hoping it was going to, I know it wasn't going to do this, but then there's a certain scene, like, there's a scene where, for instance, I'll jump in this scene, where he's talking to her about his brother, and the fact that he had a fight with his brother, and he had to get a gun off his brother because his brother was going to shoot him. And he had to get the gun off him, and it broke his nose, and he went like on, but it goes on forever. And they just sat at this wedding table chatting about it. Now that sounds good. That sounds good. But then previously they were talking about other stuff, and I read a comment on it on the trailer, because I thought, I'm not the only one who thinks this. Someone said it should be a prequel to John Wick, how he met his wife, and I was like, yeah, well, what he's saying, it's like they wanted to hint to it, but it really isn't anything to do with that, and that's not why I didn't like it. That was just a joke, because I got a bit sort of bored. I was like, oh yeah, it could be a hint to John Wick, but being honest with you, I just didn't like the direction it was going either. You know they're going to get together. You know they're going to, you know, I knew it with the other one, previous Plus One. It's you know where it's going to go, but it's how they get there, the journey they take to get there, that can either make a rom-com really good and interesting and funny, or just a bit of a snooze fest, or like this one I felt last night, boring. Nothing happened. There was no other characters. It was just them two for an hour. Now, like I say, I'm a massive Winona Ryder fan and Keanu Reeves fan, but I don't think I want to just watch them two having sort of snarky, witty banter between them. It wasn't natural conversations. It wasn't what I was buying. If they were chatting naturally and it was quite nice, yeah, but it wasn't. Quite honestly, I think they wouldn't have been together at all. Like, by how it was portrayed. It was portrayed a bit too sort of hostile to each other. And I just felt like there's no way you would get with that character, even if, like, you think, oh, there was none of that. They were horrible to each other from day one. So anyway, I don't know what went on with that movie. Very disappointing, and you know, I didn't want it to be. I wanted it to be good. Like, I gave it an hour. I can't believe I gave it an hour, but I did it. So yeah, I'm going to delve into my next movie, which is a good movie now, and it's called Emergency, and you can find that on Amazon Prime, in case you know I've got Amazon Prime. So that's my little movie thing. I think you can find it quite a lot of places now. It came out, I think it was like 2020, maybe a bit after. No, I think it was quite recent, wasn't it? I think it was actually a bit after 2020. And this actually is a really good movie. It's, how do I explain it? It's a comedy, but it's also, I would say, a drama comedy, because it's got elements, especially near the end, of some issues ongoing regarding like coloured people and police. I'll say that, like police brutality, but it's not at the same time. Um, so I'll let you know the plot of the movie. So pretty much it's actually got Sabrina Carpenter in as well. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's why I clicked on it, because I was like, oh, she's in it. So it's quite new. And it's about these two lads, and they're going to this party. Now, one's gonna go and go into NASA, I think, which is quite funny because the lad who is quite smart, he is out of a movie that I watched with Tatum Tatum and Scarlett Johansson. It's what's it called? Fly Me to the Moon. That's one that I highly recommend, because that's on what's it? Apple Plus. Watch it. It's really good. Is it ITV Plus movies? I don't know, but it's on Prime as well. It's on that. I'd watch that. It's really good. He's in it, and I said to Shell, "Oh, it's this prequel movie," but then he'd be going back in time. So we'll start with the movie. So again, one is very smart, and the other one is kind of like he's not gonna go anywhere. It's just hinted that he's from like the hood sort of scenario. He's in that area. And they're best friends, and they have another friend who they're like, it's like three of them. He's good as well. He's funny as. So it pretty much, I'll let you know. They go to a party. He gets 2 tickets instead of 3. The other guy, and because he doesn't want to invite the weird guy with his. He has like a fanny pack with granola bars in, which is a running joke. I don't see a problem in that. Who doesn't like a good granola bar? And the guy's lovely as well. The guy with the bag, he's class, not a bad bone in his body. So these two are like, right, we'll go tonight. The smart one, I'm going to call him the smart one. He's more against going because he's like, I want to, take him to the guy. I don't think that's right, but I'll go with you. And the other guy's like, let's just do it. He's going to ruin our mood. And there's a girl that the other guy likes, and there's a girl that, they both like the girls. So they want to go to a party and pretty much pull. So they do that, but then before they go, they realise that in the house there's a girl passed out on the floor, and it looks like she's OD'd. And they panic because they can't say anything about it. They can't call the cops because one is like, if the cops come there, they're going to assume, because the fanny pack guy's there too, that 3 coloured people of 3 lads and a young girl, that they've done something to her, and if they call an ambulance, they'll be investigated. So they panic. So it's one of them. I personally think they should have just called an ambulance. Anyway, the questions get answered along the way as well. It kind of makes you realise they should have just done that. Anyway, it just all hell breaks loose. It shows them getting from A to B to B to C, C to D. They pretty much decide to drive her to the hospital. And it's a mad ride. And Sabrina Carpenter's in it, and she's great in it too. She's really good. She doesn't sing, no. She doesn't sing. But no, it's really good, and the ending's actually quite nice, actually. Quite a cute movie, and you'll enjoy it. So I highly recommend that. It's called Emergency, and it's on Amazon Prime. So I would say give that a watch, because that's really good as well. So yeah, I think that's the movie so far that I've watched. I can't think anything off the top of my head that I've watched recently that I would put on another review video, but I think, you know what, I'm going to call this top 5 movies I've watched recently, because I'm going to do top 5 or 5 movies I've watched recently. So my last one, I'll make it number 5. It's going to be it's going to have to be one that I mention, a disappointing one. Sorry to end this on a disappointing movie, but Maxxxine. Where do I start with Maxxxine? We watched Pearl for the first time before it, and I was let down with that too. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't what X was. X was amazing. X was a slasher. Had gory kills, really gory kills. Had a unique concept to it. And it had a quite satisfying conclusion. Pearl didn't really have that, in my opinion. It wasn't really a slasher, and it wasn't a satisfying ending, in my opinion. And Maxxxine, unfortunately, was the same. Maxxxine, like, was just, it started. I was questioning, is this after X or is it before X? So I went in a bit blind. I knew he was doing one before X, but that was Pearl. And we were mistaken that this was her backstory before she went into X, but no, it was after. And it shows some really good flashback scenes, and you see Pearl haunting her, and it just doesn't end how I believe it would end, and it just doesn't go down a route that's very interesting. Granted, it shows her trying to get to be a star, like it said in the previous movies, but when you watch X again, you notice that there's a little bit, like, especially what Pearl says to her at the end, that I feel chicken out of big time in the movie. I'll let you know once I get near it. I'll do like a quick skim over. Yeah, the movie itself, like I say, it's just isn't it? And if you know stuff, you'll know what I mean by it. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to spoil it. So I'm not going to get into what I don't like about it. It's going to be a non-spoiler list thing, this. But yeah, you know. There's this quote, Curl. That'll be a weird name. Pearl says to Maxxxine near the end of X. She says, obviously, before calling her all them names, she says something to her that I thought it was going to go down the route of. And I think it would have been really good to have shown pretty much, I'll say it, I can all say it's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. I'll actually say it should have shown Maxxxine becoming Pearl. Maxxxine, at the end of the movie, should have realised she's turned into Pearl. That would have been a mint ending, and I actually would have enjoyed Maxxxine a lot more than I did with the generic ending that went down of. That's all I'll say. Because the generic ending, oh my god, it's so bad. It's really bad. Like, for Ty West as well, considering he did, like, really good deaths. Like, there's people, like, I won't say what happened, but I'll just say there's people flinging themselves off stuff, and there's just stupid. There's no tension, there's no build up to that ending. Like, that ending didn't have anything to it. It was just stupid. And it could have had a lot to it. It could have had so much depth like the previous movies. Both movies were good, but the ending of Pearl was the same. No, I felt was a letdown, because it didn't show. I'll say the ending of Pearl. It didn't show her husband's reaction. It didn't show, because her husband was just as crazy as her. It didn't show anything to do with him. He came back and it ended, and I wanted to see his reaction, proper reaction to the table, and his actual when he decided to go, right, I'm joining you, I'll because he kills a load in X. But anyway, like I said, it's still worth a watch, but it's not what you think. To be honest with you, Maxxxine focuses more on the Midnight Stalker, but then it doesn't at the same time. It's more the news segment bit, and Hollywood and stuff like that. But like I say, I figured I'd try something new today, and I've enjoyed it actually. Hopefully you do enjoy it, and if you do, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll do more videos like this. I think I'm going to do a top 5 videos that I've not a top 5, but like 5 videos 5 movies that I've watched, whether they're good, bad. I'm gonna do like a mixture and just let you know and check them out really. So yeah, if like say again, if you've enjoyed it, like and all that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Bye.